Hi, I'm Dana Labaki from the Rev HR team, and it's my privilege to be in Milwaukee today with Rod Rushing, our CEO. Today is the first in a series of videos where we're going to explore our quarterly earnings reports, and we're going to hear from Rod about specific priorities to help ensure the success of our businesses. Welcome, Rod.
Thanks, Dana. Glad to be here.
Rod, we recently shared quarter one financial results, so let's start there. Can you share some highlights from the quarter one results?
Sure, Dana. So first thing I'll do is I'll thank the team because we're putting a lot on people right now and pushing for change and pushing for results, and our team just responded fantastically. So I want to start by doing that. But yeah, we've when you think about it from a sequential standpoint, the momentum that we've built in the business and our ability to be predictable and have results that are consistent with what we say we're going to do, we've made great strides there. And so we closed this quarter very strong, both by doing what we said we're going to do and showing, again, sequential improvement. But most importantly, when you think about comp to last year, we had across the board, we just had really, really strong performance. From the top line to the bottom line to cash performance, we always have areas where we can do better, and we're focused on those. And we have businesses that are performing really, really well, best in class, and we have businesses that we still need to make some improvements in, but the efforts are there, and I'm very confident that where we're going is we're going to get to where we need to be in a very short period of time.
How are we progressing toward our long-term goals?
We're a little ahead of where I thought we might be at this point in time. I think that to turn our business around or to build momentum, it takes some serious effort and focus, and we kind of laid out the challenges, what we thought that was going to look like, and the teams have really, really responded well. And so we have a lot of work to do ahead. I'm never going to be deny that, but I also have to recognize that the progress we're making and the attitude and the energy that I'm feeling in the team has really been outstanding.
When you came in last year, Rod, you talked about transformation and the need for change. How are we doing in making progress around transformation?
I mean, I think that, you have to think about, again, where you expect it to be versus where you're at in that journey. And again, I would say we're ahead of where we need to be. But it also gets back to, we have some businesses that are doing fantastically. Our RV business we have some very high performing businesses in there, and the demand that we've seen, the spike there has been very, very good. It's helped us to make a lot of progress quickly. We've seen great turnaround in our fire business. The E1 business has really began to hit some strides, and we're seeing good sequential improvements there. The commercial business has been a bit of a challenge for us, particularly in our bus business, but that's more around demand. When you think about operationally how they've done, all those businesses have held up very, very well against some of the challenges we've faced, and they operate very, very soundly. And then finally, the ambulance business, we got great market positions there, and we've got stories of businesses that perform very well to businesses that have been challenged. But our Revo business, we're seeing great turnaround in that business, and I'm very, very excited about what I'm seeing there with the team and the work that they're doing to address their core issues that they've had and simplify that business. So I'm very pleased with where we are. I'm one of those people that I'm always thinking about what are we not doing that we should be doing. But I have to acknowledge that we're making great progress, and the things we said we needed to do, I see the team working very, very hard to get that done. So I'm pretty happy with where we are.
Rod, when you joined Rev last year, you talked about the importance of a healthy culture, and I know your leadership team has been doing some work specifically on the vision, mission, and values. Right. Can you talk more about why that's important?
Oh, yeah, sure. So the first thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge that there was some really good work done before I got here. It didn't start when I walked in the door. So we really took that body of work and just accelerated and finished it off. So that's the first thing. We're going to spend a lot of time here in the near future kind of focusing in on the vision, mission, and values more directly with our team. When you think about a vision, a mission, and values, it's kind of the direction setting. It's building a compass for where organizationally you want to go. The vision is more that aspirational, what you aspire to accomplish over time. And the mission is what you hope to accomplish every day in serving your stakeholders. And the values are really the behavior elements of how we want to interact with ourselves, with our customers, with our suppliers. It's that code of conduct, if you will. So all these things fit together to kind of shape the culture of how we want to be seen externally, but more importantly, how we want to behave and act with one another every day.
You mentioned values specifically. I'm wondering if there's a value that you'd like to highlight today or talk with us more about.
Yeah, it's hard to pick your favorite value. They're like your children. You love them all. But certainly safety, I think, is always important, but given the situation that we've been dealing with the last year, it becomes even more important. And you think about safety in the context of we got to make products that are safe for our customers to work in and serve our communities in. But it's also equally important about how we protect the safety and provide safety for our workers every day. So you think about the manufacturing environment. Some of the things you more historically come natural to you. But in a day like today, when we're faced with the situation like the pandemic, we have to do everything we possibly can to make sure that our employees are safeguarded. They've done a great job of responding in a very challenging situation, and we owe it to them to make sure that we're providing the care every day that does the best with the information that we have, that we're provided on what's the best in terms of a safe environment you can create for those employees. So we have to produce our products. We're critical. We're essential in what we do, but we have to do that in a way that protects our employees. And I think that there's a lot of people who should be very proud of what they've done. Not only the workers that come to work every day, but also our management team and how they've done and the care they've put into making sure our employees are taken care of. So safety is really important every day, but we've been faced here in the last year with a really unique and challenging situation that I couldn't be more proud than how the team's responded to that. And then also very thankful that our employees have come to work every day and served our business, but also served our customers.
You mentioned safety, and safety has clearly been on our minds with COVID. I'm wondering, are you encouraged by the increasing availability of vaccines?
Yeah, I am. I think, first off, it's pretty remarkable what was done in 9 months. And you think about the process to bring anything to market in the pharmaceutical space, but to get that done in 9 months and to get accelerated for multiple companies to be able to produce a vaccine, that's really, really incredible and well done. So I'm very thankful that we're in a country that allows those types of things to get done so quickly. But secondly, I think when you think about our role now, we have a role, I think, to be able to provide that to our employees. So we're working now very hard to be able, at each of our locations, offer to our employees at their choice the opportunity to take the vaccine, and so that's it's a state by state thing that we have to work through. But our expectations is that we're going to be able to do that very shortly and provide that as a next step in what we've already been doing to take care of our employees around this virus.
So the vaccine won't be required, but we're working to make it available to our employees.
That's right. We're not going to require anyone to take it. It's not going to be a condition of employment, but we want to offer it like we would like the flu vaccine. So those employees who want to take it, we make it very convenient for them to do that, to take advantage of that. So we're going to provide it, and at their choice, they can partake.
Are there other ways right now, Rod, that the pandemic is affecting our business?
Well, certainly, you think about it's affecting everybody's life for starters, and when people's lives are upside down, I think it affects the business. But we see impacts to our business every day in terms of efficiencies and absenteeism, and certainly we see that in our supply base. So there's just a lot to take into consideration. But again, you consider what we've gotten accomplished and the improvements we made in our business, and the work we've gotten done in with this headwind of what we've faced with. It's really incredible. That's a tribute to our employees of head down focus, getting results for our customers, making sure they do it in a safe way. It's something that we should all be very, very proud of.
Rod, with our refreshed vision, mission, and values, your leadership team has also put forward and done some work on performance imperatives. Can you talk a little bit about what those are?
I think first off, let's just talk about what a performance imperative is before we talk about what our performance imperatives are. So you think about when you build a strategy and you think about how you execute your business, there has to be something that links strategy to execution. It's these elements of things that have to get accomplished, and that's what turns into performance imperatives. So I'll touch on one today. Obviously, to meet our shareholder expectations, we have to be able to grow with our markets, hold our share positions, and hopefully advance our share positions. So we got to make investments and do things that ensure that we are accomplishing that. So the first thing you think about is investments you make in new technologies. Electrification is one today. We have in all of our businesses at some level activity around electrification, and it's certainly a focus of the executive team around how are we going to manage this as a business, not only overall, but as in each of the business units. The next one might be you think about product platforming. So how do we simplify our business to make it easier to manufacture the products that we build every single day? So that's another investment to drive growth. And then the activities we have with our channel through our commercial excellence, whether it's incentives, whether it's performance management, whether it's channel optimization, filling in white spaces, whatever the case may be, we have to have a culture that's built around driving commercial performance and how we manage and work with our channels. So it's a complex set of activities that goes from how you invest capital all the way down how do you operate every single day to build the capabilities to go drive growth that exceeds the market growth so you can be taking share from your competition.
Rod, this has been an excellent conversation. Thank you for spending time with us today. We're going to really look forward to our next quarter review.
Thank you, Dana. I appreciate the opportunity.